The recently approved National Education Policy or NEP 2020 is set to replace an education policy document from the 1980s. In the years between then and now, a lot of us were born, enrolled in school and earned a couple of degrees each. So yes, we are in dire need of an update, making the NEP a welcome move. But as is the case with any policy, we need to spend some time thinking about how the document will come to life in practice. The policy has put forth a few suggestions that encourage serious changes in the existing education system. One of these is providing flexibility to students in choosing subjects of their choice at the secondary level. This means that students will be able to design their own courses for study without having to confine to preset subject combinations like pure humanities or just the physical sciences. So, theoretically, a student will be able to study a combination of history, mathematics, accounting and biology should they choose to do so. This sounds great, but there are actually several factors that influence the flexibility of choice. Factors like the availability of teachers for a subject and the career opportunities each subject or subject combination offers. Also, technically, the choice exists even now as CBSE offers 160 subject options. But are students exercising or given the chance to exercise these options? To answer these questions, we turn to CBSE data that will help us understand the current situation by looking at trends in the choice of subjects among students at the class 12 level. In 2018, 12th standard CBSE students attempted examinations from around 160 subject options. Only 3% of the subjects, that is 5 out of 160, were attempted by more than 5 lakh students. Among these, English core was a compulsory subject for English medium students, so it further reduces the number of optional subjects chosen by students. Nearly 84% of subjects had fewer than 5,000 takers each, and around 68% of subjects had fewer than 1,000 students across India. One-third of the subjects had enrollment of fewer than 100 students each. This was more or less the trend even in previous years. There are even times when some subject options have no takers at all, like store accounting that had no student in 2016 and 2017. I'm not even going to ask you to guess what the most popular subject options were. In order, the most chosen subjects in 2018 were chemistry, physics and mathematics. And this was the trend in previous years too. In fact, the 3 subjects seem to have an internal competition of their own going on, just like the toppers in class. In 2014, maths had more students than the others, while physics had the highest numbers from 2015 to 2017. And of course, chemistry trumped them both in 2018. Apart from these 3, the most popular subjects were economics, business studies and accountancy. Poor old history had only 1.5 lakh students. Let me put this in perspective. Chemistry and physics had around 6.2 lakh students each in the same year. And I know you'll say that the physical sciences offer better career opportunities, but let me counter that by saying that these are exciting times for historians. Children, become historians and get a golden opportunity to rewrite the entire country's history. And the opportunity gets refreshed every time a new regime comes into power. The number for other electives like sociology and psychology dropped even more rapidly. Among languages, English, Hindi and Sanskrit were the most preferred options. In classes 9 and 10, mathematics, science and social studies are compulsory subjects, and so students don't have the flexibility to choose among these. But there are other subjects that students can choose from. CBSE data for class 10 exams in 2018 shows that 5.36 lakh students opted for Foundation of IT, while subjects like Introduction to Tourism, Home Science and Automobile Technology had fewer than 10,000 students each. All this data indicates that a majority of students enroll for a small cache of subjects and that a majority of the subjects is chosen by a very small number of students. The same is likely to be true across state boards. 2 key problems become apparent when we analyze the trends. First, it seems that despite all the options available on paper, only a handful are actually available to students. So a student may be forced to take up what is available rather than what they are interested in. Even from the perspective of schools, making all or most options available poses practical challenges. It is often difficult even for schools in cities to find quality faculty for the science subjects, leave alone the various other subjects. This problem is obviously worse in semi-urban and rural areas. This is something the government will have to look into if it is serious about offering the flexibility of choice to students. To address this, the government can explore options like inviting visiting faculty who can teach in multiple schools as focused workshops for a few of the optional subjects. So schools will not have to hire so many teachers full-time and more options are available to students. But to enable this, the regulatory system of schools will need to undergo several changes. The second challenge is that there is a lack of awareness on alternate career options among students and parents. The physical sciences and to an extent commerce and management related subjects are considered to provide better career prospects. However, studies indicate that nursing, data analytics, digital marketing and university teaching are some of the many emerging job markets. With artificial intelligence making rapid strides, any job that can be done by a machine will be allotted to a machine. So skills like analytical thinking, leadership and creativity that only human beings are capable of, at least for now, are more likely to attract stable careers in the future. Students, parents and teachers will need to be educated on career prospects beyond the traditional choices for the vision of NEP 2020 to be realized. Only then can they ask the right questions that help them make the right choices.